Okay, this is a classic front carry using a stretchy wrap and a newborn baby. So first thing with your stretchy wrap is identify the centre of the wrap, which is usually donated by some kind of a tag. And then for a newborn baby, because we want to carry them higher up and have their head higher up on your chest, we'll start with and we'll put the centre of that wrap in line with the top of your chest. Then I'm going to call this the top rail and this the bottom rail. That's just important so that it helps us not to get any twists within the carrier, and the reason or the issue with the twist is that it can potentially become uncomfortable. So then hold the wrap by the top rails and cross them over behind your back, keeping hold of just the top rail. So you can see there I've got a cross over my back and I'm still just holding the top rails, and then bring both of those over your shoulder. Then at this point it's a good idea to sort of gather the material and just take any slack out and reposition your clothing, because sometimes that gets stuck on the sling. So first thing, just bring up the piece across your chest, and you might notice that there's a little bit of slack in that, and bring these bits so they're more on your shoulders, and again just sort of take out any slack from the carrier. And one of the easiest ways to do this actually is to pull it off your shoulders and just give it a little sort of shuffle or shrug. Okay, then we're ready for the next bit. I'm now going to call this bit the safety belt. So just bunch it up so that helps keep it out of the way. Grab hold of both of the ends, bundle them up and put them through the safety belt. So then you've got something that looks like this. Then take both the ends and cross them over. It doesn't matter in which direction you cross them over. So now you've got a cross straight across your chest, and the point at which those cross is the point where you're going to place your baby's bottom's going to sit. So that cross needs to be higher up the younger the baby, and because we're demonstrating with a newborn demo doll, I'm going to sit that cross relatively high. It's above my belly button. And then hold both ends, and all we're doing now is tying off. So keep some sort of tension on there, because we don't want to have any slack in the carrier. I've taken it behind my back, crossed it over, back round to the front. I'm going to tie this off at the side just so the knot doesn't get in the way. Okay, again it's always a good opportunity now just to sort of get the sling, make sure there's no twists in it, and sort of get it baby ready. So I'm just going to pull out these sides, make sure my safety belt is fairly low, because I'm going to pull that up at the end. I'm ready for a baby. So here's my demo baby. So the first thing I'm going to do in placing the baby in is identify which of the crosses is closest to me. On the way that I've tied it, it's this side that's closest to me, so that's the side that I'm first going to put the baby into. So to do that, bring the baby up onto your shoulder of the opposite side. Take your hand under that cross panel and gently and slowly lower your baby into that cross. Then reach down, and this panel needs to be spread out from knee pit to knee pit, and the top side needs to be from shoulder cross over the back. So I'm just going to make sure that this material goes from knee pit to knee pit, and we'll start to create a good position as well. So the position that we're looking for is for the baby to have a really deep seat, and for the baby's knees to be higher than the baby's bottom. Next we're going to put the other side of the cross, so just gently ease baby over to the other shoulder. Again, reach in that material and bring it over the baby's leg. And do exactly the same with this in terms of placing and spreading out the material from baby's knee pit to knee pit and across sort of shoulder, back and bottom. It's also a good idea at this point to sort of just smooth out the fabric over the baby's back. It makes it more comfortable for the baby. And again, I'm going to have a little look at position. My demo baby's hands have sort of dropped down here, so I'm just going to take this opportunity at the moment as well to really gently just bring the baby's hands up so that they're underneath his chin. That helps to keep the chin off the chest, which is great for just making sure that the airway is as sort of as clear as possible. But also babies like to have their hands up by their mouths and their faces when they're newborn, especially for sort of discovery. So I'm going to have another look at my position in my seat. So let's say I want to have this bottom as nice and deep. Because we've got a newborn baby, the neutral position for the knees isn't too wide apart as it is in an older child. So I'm just going to make sure that I retain that the knees aren't too far apart. And like I say, we've got a deep seat. So we're looking for baby's bottom to be lower than the knee, which is here. And then the last thing is to put on the safety belt. So find the safety belt, which is probably somewhere down here. Gently bring it over both your baby's legs. Identify the central label. Although I think I might have a twist in this, so let's just have, there we are. And slowly just smooth it up over the baby's back. For a newborn, again, because we want to have really good head and neck support, bring this up to the top of the baby's head and then just allow it to sort of gently fall back down, which just creates a bit of support around the baby's head and neck. And there we go. So finally as well, I'm going to have a look at position. Now, because again it's a newborn and just for snugness and to help sort of keep their feet warm, you can, if you want to, pull the safety belt over the baby's feet. You don't have to, so you can leave them out like that. I'm going to do all my safety checks. So the safety checks is the head and neck supported, so the head hasn't got any opportunity to sort of fall back. No, this is sort of good supported, and is the baby's airways clear. Now, the baby's chin is off his chest, but this side of the carrier for me is too close to the baby's face, so I need to address that. The easiest way to address this is to put your hand underneath the shoulder, hold on to that edge that's nearest to the baby's face, and just simply tuck it away. And there you see, now we've created that the baby has really good airway. If I want to have any more support to the head, or if the baby falls asleep, I can use my other side of the shoulder to just sort of gently hold baby's head in place, which just means that it's even more comfortable, especially let's say when they fall asleep, they can sort of have even less head control. Is the material smooth down the baby's back? And with a newborn baby we will still allow that curvature to the back. And then is the material of the sling going from knee pit to knee pit, and have I got a really nice deep seat, and is the baby's bottom lower than the baby's knee? And there's all of our checks. So I'm next going to just quickly demonstrate how you can breastfeed in this carrier as well. So one of the easiest ways to breastfeed in it, this is actually just a one-way stretchy wrap. It's even easier with a two-way stretchy wrap. But the first thing I do is take off the safety belt by gently taking it over baby's feet on both sides, and then if I give a tug to the carrier on both shoulders, and all I'm doing here really is taking any slack that's in the back of the carrier and bringing it round to the front, you'll see that the baby is then, it's possible for it to sort of sink down slightly lower, and eventually if you sort of do that you get down to breast height, and then you can obviously just rotate from whichever side that you're on. And then when you're finished, obviously remember though to take that slack back away and pull the baby back into a better, higher position. With a newborn baby especially, you want their head and face to be on the hard part of your chest, not down too much lower. Or the other way that you can breastfeed, if you prefer to do cross cradle, is to use the sling. So if I am feeding currently on this side, I need to use the side of the sling that's going over the opposite shoulder to the breast that I'm feeding on. So I no longer need this side, so I'm going to take it off, remove it completely from the baby. And then by placing my hand inside the carrier, I'm going to gently lift the baby up higher so that I can bring both baby's legs through to the other side, while supporting the baby's head. Bring down into a cross cradle feeding position, and then spread out the material as much as I can. You want as much of this material sort of making a really secure pouch for the baby. Now this isn't hands-free breastfeeding. You do still need the crook of one arm just to support the baby's head, but it does mean that you can get up, the weight's taken out of your arms, and you can sort of get on with life, as it were. If you were on the other breast side, then you need to fully remove your baby from the carrier before placing in the other side. And again, to do that, put your hand through that side, bring both legs through, gently down into position, and move the material of the carrier over as much of the baby as possible to create a really secure pouch, and obviously use the crook of your arm on that side. And that's it, essentially. I hope you found that useful. Let me know and send me a message if you have any questions or queries at all. Thank you, bye.